these questions are related to accounting concepts. A. Basis for recognizing debtors and creditors is provided by accrual concept. Okay, this is straightforward questions. They are really straightforward questions. You should know the theory behind it. Okay, according to accrual concept. Okay, you should record. Accrual concept again. Mukad. Due according to accrual concept, we should record the received and income which is received or not. Apita salli hammunat neta. Api expense ka gewat neta. We should record in financial statements. If that relevant amount is regarding the present period, if it's relevant to the present period, we should record in the financial statements whether we received or not. The account accrual concept whether the relevant expenses are received on paid or not, whether relevant income are paid or not, received or not. Apart income hambunat නැතත් expense ගෙව්වත් නැතත්, if that particular income or expense is relevant to that period, you should record it in the financial statements. Okay, ඒ විදිහට අප record කරාම තමයි debtors creditors ලා කියලා ඇති වෙන්නේ, because creditors ලා debtors ලා කියන්නේ අපිට සල්ලි හම්බෙන්න තියෙනවා. අපිට සල්ලි හම්බුණාද? නෑ. But it's relevant නේ. ඒක මේ accounting period එකේ උන transaction එක. ඔයාලට තේරෙනවද මම කියන්නේ? It's a transaction which occurred or which it's related to this period, but we did not still receive the money. That's why a data is created. For example, income receivable, expense payable, they are also related to accrual concept. When we consider creditors, we owe them, but we have not still paid them. But we consider them in the financial statements according to accrual concept. This accrual concept sorry. Okay. Okay, I'll write the note. Just consider this. Okay. Take a note of this. Okay. The first one, okay. Basis for recognizing debtors and creditors is provided by the actual concept. Make a hurry. I'll once again tell from the first part. Let me actual concept මොනවද කියන්නේ අපි නිකම් මේ concept එකට එන transactions පාඩම් කරන්න නැතුව බලමු we go inside it and we check what's actual concept මේ actual concept එක මොනවදයි තියෙන්නේ what is the basis provided by actual concept මොකක්ද අපිට actual concept එක කියන්නේ what does it say actual concept means whether income is received or not expense paid or not if it's relevant to the particular period recorded අපිට income එක හම්බුණත් නැතත් expense එක අපි pay කරන්න වුණත් නැතත් pay කරත් නැතත් if it's relevant to the period just record it in the financial statements that's all ඒකට basis එක මෙන්න මේකෙන් provide කරන්න okay then here they are telling the basis for recognizing of debtors and creditors is provided by accrual concept debtors can hold they owe us okay? we should get money from debtors අපිට සල්ලි දෙන්න ඕන හරිද now අපිට සල්ලි හම්බෙලාද නැහැ අපිට සල්ලි හම්බෙලා නැහැ but the transactions relevant to this මේක වෙලා තියෙන්නේ මේ අවුරුද්දනේ we have made a sale in this year but we have not received the money and if you received or not that හම්බුණත් නැතත් just record it එතකොට අපිට debtors are created that's why we are recording debtors in the financial statement financial position we can record කරන එකයි next one creditors අපි creditors again purchase කරන credit we should pay them have we paid no we haven't still paid them but record it according to accrual concept the concept එක record කරන්න දෙන්න this concept provides the basis to record it that's why for example income payable income received in advance expense payable they ඔක්කොම record කරන්න according to this concept so this first statement is correct now let's consider the second statement the basis for measuring inventories at lower cost and NRV is provided by matching concept no it's wrong may කියන්නේ prudence concept එක prudence concept කියන්නේ මේ concept එක අපිට කියන්නේ always try not to overstate profit in profit එක ලොකු කරලා පෙන්නන්න එපා ඒකයි මේ prudence concept එකෙන් කියන්නේ prudence concept එක කියන්නේ profit overstated කරන්න එපා don't try to overstate your profit දැන් මේ basis එක දෙන්නේ මෙතන දැන් NRV එක අඩුයි නම් අපි අඩු කරලා රෙකෝඩ් කරනවා so it will reduce the profit okay ඒ වගේ තමයි because stock written off කියලා expense එකක් වෙනවනේ other expense වලට when we record cost at NRV an example expense of stock written off will be created and it will be deducted from the profit here it's related to prudence concept matching concept කියනවා match the relevant income with expenses for example sales can income එක cost of sales can expense එක you should match them the basis for that is provided by what matching concept next one the basis for classification of assets and liabilities as current and non-current in the statement of financial position is provided by going concern concept it's correct it's perfect going concern concept means may business can this business or will this business continue for more than 1 year just remember this special point going concern concept okay going concern concept is the underlying accounting assumption okay when we prepare financial statement it's the underlying accounting assumption. Okay, it have been tested in past papers also. Just take a note. Going concern is the underlying accounting assumption. So 8-1 answer is answer 4, A and C. Okay, answer number 4. Now let's go to question number 9. Now don't be scared, this is a little hard. This question number 9 is actually really hard. Okay, you should know the theory. Really, you should get a real understanding about what substance over form is. මේ substance over form කියන්නේ මොකක්ද කියලා තේරුම් ගන්න ඕන. මේ question එක answer කරන්න. හරිද? It's very very hard. Okay, හොඳට තේරුම් ගන්න මේ මොකක්ද මම කියන්නේ කියලා මම හොඳට example එකක් දීලා මම හොඳට කියලා දෙන්න යනවා මේ substance over form කියන්නේ මොකක්ද කියලා. It's really hard. හරිද? You can memorize the answer and tell. කලින් මේ paper එක කරලා ඔයාලට වැරදුනහම අපිට වැරද්ද හදා ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ අපි දැන් බලන්න යන ඇයි මේව හරි ඇයි මේව වැරදි. Now we gonna look why these statements are wrong, why these statements are correct. අපි ඒක තමයි දැන් බලන්න යන්නේ. Okay, this is very very hard. මේක ගොඩක් අමාරුයි. මම සෙෂන් එක පටන් ගන්න කලින් මම කිව්වා මේ පළවෙනි 10 වෙනිකන් තියෙන ගොඩක්ම තියරි. දැන් ඔයාලා මම එක තේරුම් ගන්න ඇති මේ පළවෙනි 10 සාමාන්‍ය. They will give us theory questions. Okay, you should first try to do them. ඒ ටික කනට කරන්න ඕනේ මොකද අපේ time එක save කරන්න. You have only 50 questions to do in 2 hours. හරිද? You have 120 minutes to do 50 questions. So basically we have less than, I think, 3 minutes to do one question. Yeah, less than 3 minutes. So විනාඩි 3කටත් වැඩි අඩු කාලයක් තමයි තියෙන්නේ ඒක question එකක් කරන්න MCQ accounting. So you should really try to do fast. අයියෙන් කරන්න ගොඩක් පුරුදු වෙන්න ඕන. First of all, අපි බලමු what is substance over form? මොකද්ද substance over form කියන්නේ? හරිද? What is substance over form? I'll write like this. Substance හරිද? අපි usually හැමෝම කටපාඩම් කරන්නේ substance over form නම් it's related to lease assets. Okay, අපි හැමෝම එහෙමද කටපාඩම් කරලා තියෙන්නේ. හරිද? now අද අපි බලන්න යනවා ඇත්තටම substance over form කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? Why we are recording lease assets in substance over form? Just without trying to memorize it, අපි දැන් බලමු why when we are recording lease assets, substance over form is considered. Okay. First of all, what substance over form? Substance over form කියන්නේ substance over form means the transactions and events should be recorded based on their substance or economic value rather than just considering their legal form. Okay, මම හිතනවා කාට තේරුම් නැහැ කියලා වැඩිද, but let me explain it. Recording a transaction or event. Now දැන් මම මේ ඔයාලට කියලා දෙන්නේ මේ A levels වල ආපු දෙයක්. දැන් ඔයාලා ඉස්කෝලේ හරි කොහේ හරි මේක උගන්වලා නැත්නම් මම මේ අලුත් දෙයක් නෙමෙයි උගන්වන්නේ. මේ සිලබස් එකේ තියෙන දේක් උගන්වන්නේ. එක්සෑම් එක අපේ ටෙස්ට් කරපු දේ මම උගන්වන්නේ. ඒක ඔයාලා දැනගෙන ඉන්න ඕන. මොකද next time අනිවාර්යයෙන් මේ අහන්න ඉඩ තියෙනවා. What's the definition of substance over form කියලා හිතුවා? Or event, recording a transaction or event. Recording a transaction or event based on its substance or economic value without considering the legal form. දැන් මොකද්ද මේ කියන්නේ? උනාට මම කියනවානේ. අපි දැන් බලමු. We'll see what's the meaning of this. මොකද්ද මේකේ හැංගිලා තියෙන රහස? හරිද? Substance or form. හරිද? When we consider a lease asset, after lease, when we buy an asset on lease basis, අපි asset එක lease basis ගත්තොත් එහෙම හරිද? Does that legally owned by us? අපිට ඒක legally අයිතිද? No. ඒ accounting නැත්නම් lease period එක ඉවර වෙනකන් අපි දන්නේ අපිට ඒක හම්බෙයිද නැද්ද කියලා. හරිද? අපිට ownership එක නැහැ. legally අපිට ownership එක නැහැ. for example හිතන්න මම lease basis vehicle එකක් ගන්නවා delivery vehicle එක. හරිද? දැන් මට ඒකේ legal ownership එක ගන්න නැහැ. actually ඒක ownership එක තියෙන්නේ ඒ lease කරපු organization එකේ දාලා. but මම ඒක use කරනවා. මම ඒක මගේ product deliver කරන්න use කරනවා. මම මගේ products ගේන්න use කරනවා. හරිද? now I'm using it for my business. so now in that case it's an asset. ඒක asset එකක්. හරිද? although it's not being legally owned by me but it's an asset. ඒක කොහොමද asset එකක්. හරිද? it will generate economic resources. දැන් ඒක මට economic resources generate කරනවානේ. why? delivery van එක මගේ products deliver කරනවා. so it's an asset නේ. products මට ගෙනත් දෙනවා. හරිද? but I don't have any legal ownership. but we are recording lease asset as a right of use asset in the SOFP. අපි financial statements lease asset record කරන්න දුන්නා. no, we are recording it. අපි record කරනවා. ඇයි record කරන්නේ? අපි කටපාඩම් කරනවා because of substance overform කියලා. මේ ඇත්තටම තේරුම මොකක්ද? although we don't have a legal ownership, it generates economic benefits and it's a substance beyond legal form. okay, අපිට use කරන්න පුළුවන්. අපිට ඒකට record කරන්න තියෙන බෑ. so we should record it. to record things like that, the substance over form කියන concept එක අපිට introduce කරලා තියෙනවා. තේරුණාද? without just without just considering the legal form, we should consider the substance or economic value. මේ transaction එක අපි දෙයක් බයික් lease asset එකක් ගත්තාම මේ transaction එක අපිට එනවනම් මේ substance එක economic එක එනවනම් we should record them. ඒක තමයි මෙතන මේ කියන්නේ. now let's go to first one. First part, recognition of income tax payable as an entity by an entity as a liability. හරිද? දැන් මම කියන්නම් ඇයි මේක ඉන්නේ නැත්තේ කියලා. හරිද? now I'll explain you why this statement will not come under substance or form. okay, substance of form. okay, now when we consider income tax payable, හරිද? income tax payable අපි consider කරද්දී it's a liability, but wait a minute. okay, it's a present obligation. obviously it's a present obligation, otherwise we can't consider it as a liability. we all know that. අපි ඔක්කොම දන්නවා. දැන් මේක present obligation එකක් නෙමෙයි නම් we can't consider it as a liability. present obligation එකක් විදි දෙකකින් create කරන්න පුළුවන්. we can create it from legal obligation, constructive obligation. The present obligation කියන එක create වෙනවා either from legal obligation or constructive obligation. Okay guys, මේ දෙකෙන්ම අපිට present obligation එක create වෙන්න පුළුවන්. හරිද? In this case හරිද? මේ income tax payable කියන්නේ හරිද? Income tax payable කියන්නේ government එකට pay කරන්න ඕන දෙයක්. It's related to a legal entity. ඒක law එකෙන් කියලා තියෙනවා. හරිද? ඒ law එකෙන්ම කියලා තියෙනවා අපි මේ income tax ගෙවන්න ඕන government එකට කියලා. So in that case this present obligation is created by a legal obligation. මේ මෙතන මේක කියන්නේ legal obligation එක. හරිද? So legal obligation කියන්නේ legal form එකක් තියෙනවානේ. මම මුලින්ම ඔයාලට කිව්වනේ without just merely considering the legal form. හරිද? Substance of form කියන legal value legal form එකක් තිබ්බත් නැත්නම් record කරන්න බෑ. දැන් මෙතන legal එකක් තියෙනවා. So it's not related to substance or form. So it's false. So first one is not coming. මට පොඩ message එකක් දාන්න පුළුවන්ද තීරණයක් නැද්ද කියලා. It's really hard. No. Due to this reason, because income tax payable is a legal obligation, it's not related to substance or form. Okay. Because law tells us to pay income tax to the government. This is the real accounting, okay? මේක තමයි ඇත්තම accounting කියන්නේ. Now we'll see why second statement is correct. What is the second statement? Recognition of right of use asset as a asset of and financial statement of it. Now, මම මේක කලිනුත් explain කරා නේද ඔයාලට? ඇයි? Why are we considering this as an asset? Because this substance provide you economic benefits. Okay, මම ඔයාලට පටන් ගත්තේ මේ example එකක් විදිහට කිව්වනේ. So due to substance over form concept, okay, will we regard or will consider right of use as a release asset as an asset of the entity. Okay, so next one, recognition of constructive obligation as a of an entity as its liability. Okay, in order to generate a liability, there should be a present obligation. Okay, so present obligation could be created in two ways: constructive obligation and legal obligation. Now we are considering about constructive obligation. What's constructive obligation? Constructive obligation කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? What is constructive obligation? Constructive obligation means they are the unofficial obligations, right? They are the unofficial obligations we can change from time to time. My examples here now. I'll explain this further with nice examples. In other words, අපිට කියන්න පුළුවන් type of obligations that derive from entities actions. මේ constructive obligations ඇති වෙන්නේ මේ organization එක හැසිරෙන විදියෙන් based on the way these entities conduct their activities. For examples, like current statements, current statements, past practice, publish policies. Then I gave you 3 examples. Now these 3 types, okay, these 3 types of obligations will create a constructive obligation. Like current, for example, I can go case මොකක් හරි ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එකක් ගන්නවා කියලා බර්ගර් එකක් ගන්නවා කියලා හිතන්නකෝ. දැන් කේස් එකකින් බර්ගර් එකක් ගත්තාම කේස් එකේ බර්ගර් එකට warranty card එකක් දෙන්නේ නැහැ නේ. If they give you a warranty card, it will create a legal obligation. Then ඔයාලා කේස් එකකට ගිහින් බර්ගර් එකක් ගත්තා කියලා you won't receive a warranty card නේ. But කේස් වගේවා කියලා තියෙනවානේ අපි products හරි නැත්නම් මොකක් හරි defect එකක් තිබ්බොත් will refund කියලා. But it's their policy, but they never give us a warranty card. When you buy a burger, burger KFC ka apne dena mein warranty card hai. So this is the warranty card for the burger. But they have policies. Okay, they have policies stating that මෙහෙම අපේ products defect වුණොත් අපි refund කරනවා කියලා. ඒ refund කරන්න ඔය KFC එකට වෙනම සල්ලි යනවානේ. So you should make a provision for that. But it does not have a legal form. It derives from the type of obligations that derive from entities' actions. ඒකේ manager හරි CEO හරි කවුරුහරි කියලා කියනවානේ. But they have not legally enforce that. Okay, they have not given a warranty card, neither through a law, neither through various regulations. යාළුවෝ එහෙම කියන්නේ එයාට දෙන්නත් පුළුවන් නොදෙන්නත් පුළුවන්. Okay, like here it can change from time to time. හරිද? එයාට දෙන්නත් පුළුවන්. දැන් for example මම යනවා මොකක් හරි product එකක් ගන්න case එකට මගේ මොකක් හරි defect එකක් තියෙනවා. දැන් මම ගිහින් කියනවා ඔයා මෙහෙම කිව්වා නේද? ඔයාලගේ manager කිව්වනේ අපිට refund කරනවා කියලා අපිට ඉතින් දෙන්න. හරිද? දැන් මෙයාලට දෙන්නත් පුළුවන් නොදෙන්නත් පුළුවන්. Okay? හැබැයි නොදුන්නොත් එහෙම court එකට ගිහින් action එකක් ගන්න පුළුවන් because it has already created a constructive obligation. They are the constructive obligation create කරලා ඉවරයි. හැබැයි යාට දෙන්නත් පුළුවන් නොදෙන්නත් පුළුවන්. එතකොට මට ෆයිල් එකක් කේස් කරන්න පුළුවන් because there is a constructive obligation. එයා කිව්වා. මට evidence තියෙනවා මට ගිහින් court එකේ case එක ෆයිල් කරන්න පුළුවන්. Okay, but there is no legal form. මම මේ ඔයාලට කියන්නේ there is no legal form. Okay, make constructive obligation කියන එක මොකක්ද? Unofficial obligations created through entities actions which we could change from time to time. Okay, they are based on that. For example, හිතන්න අපිට refund කරන්න ඕනේ කියලා refund කරලා economic resource outflow වෙනවා. අපි දැන් අලුතෙන් burger දෙද්දි අර ඒක organization එක expense එකක්. So we should make a provision here. So it's related to economic substance. So we are recording the transaction. You know, the basis for that is given by the substance or form. So this statement is correct. So answer is number 4, B and C. Again 2020. Okay. Now this is 2020, right? Now මේ ස්ටෑන්ඩඩ් දැන් මම මේ A-level paper එකක් කරන්නේ. ඔයාලට මේක තේරුම් ගන්න ඕන. You are facing either 2022 or 2023. දැන් paper එක තවත් tough වෙනවා. දිග tough වෙනවා. So ඔයාලට විද්‍යාව 20 එක බෑ කියන්නේ. ඔයාලා හොඳට practice කරන්න ඕනේ. නිකන් debit credit කරලා විතරක් මදි. Just debiting crediting is not the accounting now. Now you should know the theory behind it. Okay. Constructive obligation කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? Constructive obligation means they are the unofficial obligations, okay, that we can change from time to time. Okay, they derive from entities' actions. Okay, for that obligations we call them as constructive obligations. First of all, they to consider or to recognize a liability or provision, there should be a definitely there should be a present obligation. Okay, we can create a present obligation either through legal obligation or constructive obligation. Okay, what are the three ways where we can කොහොමද කියන්නේ legal obligation එකක් හැදෙන විදි තුන, three ways of forming a legal obligation. First one, through contracts. Second one, through law. Third one, through regulation. Okay. Okay. Present obligation, we can create a present obligation from legal obligation as well as constructive obligation. Okay. Now, here liability. Provision. To recognize or to identify a provision or a liability, there should be obviously, definitely there should be a present obligation. If it's a possible obligation, we can't consider it as an liability or provision. Okay, if it has a possible obligation, okay, we should consider it as an contingent liabilities. Okay, these all these stuffs are stated in LKS 37. If there is no present obligation, okay, if there is a possible obligation, you should consider it as an contingent liabilities, and you should disclose it by a note. It's not recognized in the financial statements. All right, guys. So to create or to recognize a liability or a provision, it should be, or there should be, we should have a present obligation. Now, present obligation could be created by legal obligation or constructive obligation. Now we'll see how a legal obligation could be created. First one, through contract. Second one, law. You should, guys, you should really memorize this, or not memorize, you should really understand this. Okay, definitely they will test these type of things in 2022 or 2023 paper. Okay, these are new stuffs. You should know them. Okay, because they won't be always asking the old stuffs. Now they'll really focused on revenue, like revenue from contracts, SLFRS 15, then leases, and then contingent liabilities, provisions. Okay, these type of things are definitely will be tested in your exams. Now a legal obligation could be created through a contract by when we buy, for example, when we buy a fridge. Okay, if we buy a fridge from some company, let's say Singer or a Barnes or any company, so they'll give you a warranty card. Ne? That warranty card will create a legal obligation. So now you can, if the fridge is broken, you can show them the warranty card and they should refund it. Ne? So if you don't have that warranty card, they'll never refund you. Yeah, warranty card එක නැත්නම් යා refund කරන්නේ නැහැ. So through that it will create you a legal obligation. Due to that, the Singer or Abans will already create a provision like the provisions we recording when we make company accounts. Okay, they'll provide or they'll record provisions. Okay, because it has already created a legal obligation, because they are providing us a warranty card through law, like gratuity payments. Then through regulation, like court order, through court orders, court will tell us you should pay them, you should pay that organizations. Okay, you should pay a fine like this. Okay, so in that case, if court order or if the court orders us to do something, that will also create a legal obligation. Next one, let's see how a constructive obligation will be created. Current statements. Next one, past practice. Publish policies. So what are current statements? Current statements are, for example, like paying bonus to employments, like company paying bonus in addition to the salaries. Like they can pay or they like ගෙවන්නත් පුළුවන් නොගෙව ඉන්නත් පුළුවන්. There is no legal obligation there. Right? They can change the obligation. That's the definition of constructive obligation. The law එකෙන් කියලා නේ ඔයාලට ගෙවන්න කියලා. Company to own නම් හරි මට මේ ප්‍රොෆිට්ස් ආවේ එම්ප්ලොයිස් නම් මම මොටිවේට් වෙලා වැඩ කරපු ඉඳ තමයි එහෙනම් මම ඔයාලට මෙහෙම බෝනස් එකක් දෙනවා. The owner can decide it. But මම මේ අවුරුද්ද දුන්නා කියලා ඊළඟ අවුරුද්ද දෙන්න ඕනේ නැහැ නේද? To motivate them. Okay. යාලට එහෙම දෙන්න පුළුවන්. But හැමදාම දෙන්න ඕනේ කියලා නැහැ නේ. So past practice, like KFC, Pizza Hut telling you that they will refund or they'll provide free meals for damage or defect products. Like යාලා කියනවා අපි මේ from the past අපි කරගෙන ආවා. Okay, past practice. අපිට මේ අවුරුද්ද change කරන්න පුළුවන්. That's a different story. But from past, like from past years, these types of food companies, they provide free food. නේ කියන්නේ මොකක් හරි damage ලා තිබ්බොත් defect ලා තිබ්බොත් එයාලා අපිට දෙනවා. like එහෙම එච්චර කාල දුන්නා කියලා අපිට දැන් දෙන්න ඕන කියලා නීතියක් නැහැ. අපිට දෙන්න නැතු ඉන්නත් පුළුවන්. So next one, publish policies. Like board of directors stating to provide a provision, like the board of directors, like directors, they are telling us to make a provision for products. In that case also a constructive obligation is created. Okay, that's all for today. Okay, before winding up, I'll let you know the meaning of obligation. What is an obligating event? obligating event is an event in that will result entity having alternative. ඔයාලට මේක තේරුන්නේ නැහැ කියලා මම අර කියපු දේම තමයි මෙතනින් කියන ඔබ්ලිගේෂන් එක ක්‍රියේට් වෙනවා කියන අනිවාර්යෙන් ඕගනයිසේෂන් එක මේක පේ කරන්න ඕනේ. It's an obligation. The company has no other choice. There is no other alternative. Okay. अब ගෙවන්න නැතුව ඉන්න බෑ. So although they can change the constructive obligations, okay, yeah, although a company can change the obligations, if we go to the court, then අපිට කේස් එක එහෙම දුන්න නැත්නම් අපිට කෝට් එකට යන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි මෙහෙමයි, එයාලා past practice කරා කියලා අපිට evidence තියෙන්න ඕනේ. We should have evidence. With that evidence අපි කෝට් එකට ගියොත් එimhe එයාලට දෙන්න වෙනවා. Okay, they have no Obligating event is an event that creates a legal or constructive obligation that will result in an entity having no realistic alternative to settle the liability. There is no other alternative. It's definitely a company organization should pay that liability. Okay, that's the meaning of obligation. That's why liability and provision should have present obligation. Other present obligation there should be no other realistic alternative to settle the liability. We can bear in a bad. An obligating event or obligation is created through either through legal or constructive way that will result an entity to pay the liability, and there is no other alternative. That's the meaning of an obligation. Next one.